All right, everybody, welcome back to the Hometown Huddle podcast. After a brief hiatus, we took a few weeks off. I looked today; it's been 4 months, so busy time. I guess not for me, but for my producer, it was a lot busier. Summertime had a lot of downtime, but
yeah, I'll take the fall. I was not on top of stuff, so we got a little break, but we're good to go.
We're back, and I mean, not a ton high school sports to talk about in the summer, so we're back. Fall sports start tomorrow. We're pretty excited for that. We have with us here our head football coach, Wiley Allred, and then defensive coordinator, Jeremy Scroggins. So thanks, guys, for coming on. We appreciate you taking the time. Hopefully it's not too awkward. Usually it's like we start before the episode and everybody's good and chatting like we just did, and then we hit record and everybody gets a little stiff. But that happens. Yeah, no, we're glad you guys could make it on. It was one we
This is
talked
one
about
to build
forever.
up to. Yeah, like Carter's saying, we've been talking about this since day one. It's like, oh man, you Wiley and Jeremy.
Yeah, because we started
So
doing this
awesome.
in
This is a good one.
in October last year. So it was kind of like, yeah, we're not going to do it was like right before playoffs started. So it was like, okay, we're not going to do a podcast with like the top dogs. Like, well, we're in the middle of playoffs, and then it got into basketball season stuff. So anyway, just the timing of this works out pretty well. So we're excited here. I sent you guys that outline. I don't know if you read it. I didn't even read it. It's like AI generated thing. I put in some like info and then just like do a web search and write some stuff. So hopefully it's kind of good, but we'll just go off script too. Like it doesn't even really matter here what we're
So we're doing the top quarterbacks.
we're doing the top. Yeah, we said top
Here we
10
go.
top
Here
10
we go.
best quarterbacks of all time. Well, let's get a little background. I would be interested to hear what you have to say there, but we'll go into it here a little bit. So Wiley, I don't even know what year you graduated high school, but you were class of 70 something. Were you even that late?
Yeah, 78.
78. That's what I thought. Okay.
Same
yeah.
as Maria Leffler. So she
Okay.
got all the accolades, rightfully
Yeah.
so.
Mhm.
'Cause they won a title, and we got
Yep.
to go watch. And
Yeah.
that was pretty awesome.
Yep. Yeah, if you haven't heard that episode, you guys can go back and listen to that one. It's really good. We get the whole kind of scoop from Maria. So, class of 78, and then after high school, we played at Walla Walla. Was it community college then, or was it? I don't even know what.
Hey, absolutely it was.
Okay.
We had a
Like,
really good.
'cause I know that's what it is
college-
now, but I didn't know if that's what it
community
was.
college
Yeah.
system. Very proud of that too.
Uh-huh.
Very difficult education for 2 years.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Well, I mean,
excelled.
after Royal High School, it's everything.
Well, I
seems
got
kind
my
of
first 4 points in college. How about that?
There you go.
Nice.
Yeah.
Only took him 2 years to get them.
That was pretty. I graduated a quarter early from Walla Walla Community College.
There you
I
go.
will let you know.
Okay, so tell us about your football at Walla Walla Community
Yeah,
College.
say a little
That
bit
was
about
pretty
that.
good.
Yeah, we it was actually really fun. I had a great experience with the guys and still have relationships with many of them, or at least we communicate on Facebook, and a couple of them got into the coaching ranks as well, and had some really good coaches. So as community college systems go, at that time there was like 8 or 9 teams in our league in the Northwest. There's one, CBC, Yakima, Spokane, Falls, and Treasure Valley, Oregon, and anyway, there was a Walla Walla. Anyway, it was a good league, and then had friends like Steve Kaiser, Steve Graff, who both got into coaching, just retired. Kaiser from Skyview, and Graff from Chiawana, and then earlier he was at Pasco. Our coaches were excellent. They treated us kind of like, we kind of felt like it was a big, I thought it was big time. We didn't have to buy our jerseys or anything like that. So got fed on road trips and took a bus, but it was fun. We had a bunch of guys, I think 100 kids on the team, and I went down with a couple of guys from Royal, Tim Freeman and Mike Cornier went down with me, and I think Tim stayed for one season and then kind of wanted to come back and start farming. Mike stayed there that season, and then he went and played some baseball somewhere else and came back a year later. Anyway, yeah, we had a good time.
Weren't you guys national contenders too?
The second year we were 8-1. We only lost to UW JVs because their team got beat by another JC team the week before, and they were not going to lose to us. So we went over to UW, and we faced some kids that were playing on Saturdays. And but other than that, yeah, we we won all our games our sophomore year. Freshman year, I don't know. The sophomore class wasn't so, I don't think, so dedicated. And anyway, same coaches though. Our coaches went on and coached other colleges later on.
Nice.
And yeah, I ended up, I guess I was all conference the second year. And but you can have a slow 175-pound kid. Here's the best part. I start at cornerback, and a track guy runs past me a couple plays in a row from Spokane, and I got moved to safety, which was much better. Highlight.
Yeah. And then, so, after that, kind of from what I remember, at least of what you said, is did you go to WSU and finish degree there or something? But you were traveling back to Royal pretty regularly and kind of started coaching just kind of off and on then, right? Just for a few years where you kind of come back and forth.
Yeah, so coach, I started helping a little bit. And actually I did have a couple opportunities. Didn't take them. They were late to Montana and to another school, but I just decided I was just going to finish off at WSU. I came back when I brought my defensive playbook, so to speak, and Coach Nilsson kind of wanted to implement it. And doing so, then he had me join in a little bit for those couple of years when I could.
Yeah. And then, at what year did you actually officially? You were an assistant coach there all the time, like full-time assistant.
I think it would be an 82 because of my first year back. From the fall of 82.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and that was Coach Nielsen was still there at that time because he was, had his first kind of stint, and then it was Coach Hill for 4 years or something like that, and then Coach Nielsen came back.
Right.
And then, an assistant through those times. And then in 94, was an assistant. We first made it to the finals. And then an assistant coach in 1996 when we won our first state championship. And then that brings us to the big year of 1999, if I remember right, that you took over as head coach. Is that right?
Oh, yeah. That was the big year. No, I did take over as head coach, I guess.
And
interviewed, wanted to know why they didn't. Yeah, go ahead.
Well, what was that process like for you? Was that something that you aspired to, that you wanted to be for a long time? Was it something you thought about much, or was it just kind of like, hey, there's an opening and they've talked to me? Like, did they ask you? Yeah. Were you interviewing for it? What was that like?
It's kind of interesting. So Coach Nilsson had been back for about 8 years, and about 90, I don't know which it was, but he right after seasons when he'd have a loss, he'd get frustrated and decide it was his fault. And like in 95, I think he turned his stuff in, said, I'm done. And I was scared. I was scared. I was like, uh-oh, this can't go to me. I'm not ready. So no, I did not aspire for it. And then he changed his mind. Some kids come in like Jed Warden-Nair and Aaron Christensen, some other guys. And so he coached them again in 96. Then I think he did the same thing in 97. He was done. And and then he changed his mind. It wasn't like wishy-washy at all, but he was just feeling so frustrated that he screwed up, I felt like. And so then he came back and finished 98. By then, I'd actually had a little bit of time to think about it from about 3 years of – because he'd allowed me to come late to practice. I was farming pretty heavily and doing all these things up on the side. I loved coaching. So we looked around for in the area, some head coaches, tried to recruit him from Quincy, Freda, and a few other areas, and they declined. Mm-hmm. They decided to stay where they're at. And so then when it opened up, I did apply, but I thought about it, and I was like, I could be somebody's assistant still. I really enjoyed being an assistant coach. I loved it. Not a ton of, enough pressure because it was running the defense, and he allowed, and so did Jim Hill allowed me to do that. But we never found anybody. And then in the head coaching, and so the assistant coaches who came and applied were also assistant coaches, and they were actually really good. It was like Wayne Reiner, was the coach from Ephrata for years. It was I can't think of his name in a moment, and a couple others. And anyway, they were outstanding, and they grilled me pretty hard, which was really interesting. Which is smart. I think one of the guys, I thought, man, they don't want me to coach. But they wanted me to find out what I could do since I wasn't teaching. Mm-hmm. And after because they didn't ask me anything about football, and I was kind of like right after thought, I'm not going to get this job. and I was kind of disgusted they didn't ask about football. Mm-hmm. But they wanted to ask my time commitment, and how could I make it work. But anyways, I thought it was really well done in the end, not because I got it, but because of how they went about it.
Yeah. Yeah, kind of important thing. And that kind of process, the other perspective of that is Jeremy. So you were Wiley's first year being the head coach, you were a junior, is that right?
Yep.
So what was that transition like for you, and kind of from the player's perspective of this coach, Coach Nielsen, that's been there for 26 years and won state championship and has kind of been, because the program wasn't super old at that point. He'd been the coach for the majority of kind of the existence of the program. What was that like for you guys as players? Did you think, Wiley was going to get the job? Did you have any idea, do you remember much about it?
No, I remember probably not as much as I probably don't remember as much as I would like to. I remember the uncertainty just for a little bit, right? Like, we're going to have a new head coach. And then I remember a group of guys going, well, it's going to be Wiley, right? Like, it's kind of like, right? Like, this is what's supposed to be, right? And then, I mean, that was all the process. He got to experience the hard stuff. I think for us, when I knew, I remember being excited, just because we knew what to expect. We knew what was, like the standards weren't gonna change. And I'd known Coach Allred my whole life, so I know he wanted to expand offensive things, use similar language. I just remember being really excited. So
yeah. Being in the same system, for you guys. So, that junior year, you guys were really good. Were you undefeated in the regular season? Is that what it was? And then lose to Walook kind of in a crazy game, or I forget the guy's name, ran for like 300 yards or something insane. Wapuk. Yeah. It hasn't gone so well for him lately, but
they actually were really a good team.
They were good.
We beat them in the regular season 24-20.
Yeah, it was close.
And then so I'm just looking at it, and then we lost them 21-27.
Mm-hmm.
And
couple close
they
games.
had been a pretty tough program for a few years right then. I mean, I shouldn't say program. They were a good, tough team at the moment.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was kind of sort of the peak there. And then going into 2000, right, so the next year, you end up winning state, right, have this really dedicated group of seniors. I don't know for you, Wiley, what that was like, coming into being head coach. Was that something you expected? Did you expect to compete and win state titles right away in like your second year? Was that something like a goal? What, when starting your time as head coach, what was kind of the thought process there? I don't know if even was.
I don't know, but my first hire was Pete Pratt's defense coordinator, and we got along fine, and so we got a pretty good staff, and the kids were buying in. I don't know that I really knew exactly what to expect, other than the first year. To the second year, I felt a lot more comfortable, and I thought the kids did, and we had a lot of returning kids as well, and that was big right then. A lot of kids were back again, and they were dedicated, really, really dialed in, and so we had as the season progressed, I think we were dominating opponents. I don't think we had a close game until we beat Okanagan in this quarterfinals, and they were the returning state champion with only one. They had only graduated one individual from a really strong state championship team with Will Dirting, who played at started WSU for 3 or 4 years, and he was an absolute stud. We beat them, and then we kind of thought it's probably ours to lose. So then we went to Colfax and beat them after Jeremy knocked the quarterback out with a broken collarbone. I didn't know that at the time, but I think their coach did, and they were kind of faking it through. But anyway, and then we met a pretty good Tacoma Baptist team, actually, and they had some real. They had the 100-meter champion 4-year. He was a senior. He was like 6'2", 200, going to University of Idaho. And we knew if we ever let him out, he was going to be gone. We were just going to wave goodbye because he was that fast. But we got ahead of him, in the end of the third, and then just kind of steamrolled him from there. The score looks lopsided, but it was a close game for most of it.
Yeah, that's at least what I read about it. I think it was tied going into the fourth, and then it was like 28-0 in the fourth quarter or something to that effect. I don't know. And Corbin, maybe you can, maybe it was me. Corbin maybe can speak to this too. I didn't mention my brother Corbin is on here, who also played in Royal. He's been on before on the podcast and stuff. But I don't know, that whole time that early 2000s and things going on, I don't know. I just really curious about that and what it was like for the players back then. I know, now the expectation is to compete and make a run, and obviously state titles. We've been really successful the past 10 years, probably to put it lightly, but I think it's always been that way with the kids. It's like you expect to be able to compete. Like it's not like an impossible thing. Whereas some people, even going to state or going to the state championship is like this. Some schools have just never done it or only been there once or twice. What was that like for you guys, Jeremy? Was that something you guys expected when you were in high school? Did you like, maybe not expectation, or was it, you got through half the year, you got through the regular season and started to realize, oh, we're pretty good?
That's a good question, man. And it's a long time ago.
Yeah, you got to really go back, and you had a few seasons under your belt since then.
I remember this. I remember sitting after we lost my junior year and watching, and I still remember it. I was watching Wiley be excited. It wasn't overly celebration, but they were celebrating the win on our home field. And I remember sitting there with a group of guys, Ian Bergeson specifically, and I'm like, I'm never losing again, dude. I don't care what it takes. Like, I'm never experiencing this again. Like, and I felt like that, for me at least, was pretty meaningful. And so we knew that we had any potential coming back, right? We had a ton of seniors or to-be seniors, right? A lot of people had played that were juniors, sophomores that were ready and or in the mix, and so we knew that we were going to be good, and we also knew at some point we were going to run in. If we did our job, we were going to run into the Okanagan buzzsaw, and so like we actually had to follow the funny papers back then, right? Those not as much online, and so it was kind of always tracking them. I remember getting up and seeing how they did and what's going on, and read the newspaper. So I don't know that honestly, it didn't even feel real. It wasn't an expectation. It really was like kind of coach's mentality still to this day, right? Like the only thing that matters in the next game. It's all we're focused on. I really did feel that way. But knowing when we played Okanagan in Omaha, like that was a big win. And I think that was the first time, like, hey, like we got a shot. Like we can do this. And we were all pretty excited and emotional, right? Like this is pretty special. So that was a big win.
That is awesome.
Yeah. Some of those, you look back over the years when you've been through the program, some of those like big quarterfinal wins, especially back before it was like seeded and you'd run it, like the two best teams would play in like the quarterfinals early on. Man, some of those wins are so big. So
here's a quick one for that year.
Yeah.
Here's how screwy it was as well. We were undefeated, and we have a north-south or an east-west division in our league. And so we're tied with the other top team in the league. Guess what we do? We go to Kittitas, and we run a Kansas City tiebreaker, and we lose. I think it was to Clay Allen, wasn't it, Jeremy?
Yeah.
We lose the Kansas City tiebreaker, which makes us go to Okanagan the next week or the week anyway. We're in the same bracket with them by losing that tiebreaker, which is kind of a fluky deal, but whatever. It's they just basically could have flipped a coin.
Yeah, you could do a one.
Yeah. Anyway, I thought that was kind of...
Yeah, that's funny. Just breaking the ties. Yeah, cool. So, over the next bunch of years, so Jeremy, you went on and played at Whitworth. Tell us a little bit about your experience there and what that was like.
Oh, you bet, man. So went to Whitworth. I've been 2001. They were middle to bottom of the pack pretty historically in their Northwest Conference. Newer coaching staff. John Tolley was the head coach. Chris Casey was the D coordinator. They were a 4-3 cover 2 shell team, and I was recruited to play safety. And so just remember my recruiting trip, language was similar, terminology, it made a lot of sense. I felt like I had a good opportunity to get to compete and play early, and that was honestly the biggest reason why I wanted to go there. Is I just wanted to play as soon as I thought I could possibly, which in hindsight's crazy because there's 21, 22, 23-year-old kids out there, and I'm a young, on my recruiting trip, 17, 18 barely when I go to college, and pretty crazy. So my freshman year, I was like a nickelback. I was like a fifth DB, kind of a hybrid-y in our Okie package deal. So I played some snaps my freshman and sophomore year. My freshman year, we made it to the playoffs, so for the first time, and forever that they had been. Sophomore year, I think we were like 8-2. Don't quote me, I don't remember half of it. Junior year, I started at safety, and I think we were 7-3. Just missed. Northwest Conference didn't have any automatic bids for the playoffs at that time.
Wow.
So it was all coaches poll stuff, which is what it is. It's kind of West Coast. We're out on the West Coast. There's still a ton of D3 schools back east, and it was tough to make the playoffs. And then my senior year, we had a new defensive coordinator, and that was a lot of fun. So we kind of broke the 4-3 shell. We were in more of a 3-4 look, and they asked me if I wanted to play linebacker because I was a slow safety. And I was like, heck yeah, I'd love to not worry about these dudes running by me.
Yeah.
And so I played some inside backer and some outside backer my senior year. So I was honorable mention sophomore year, junior and senior year as an all-league player. Captain my senior year is a lot of fun. And then after that, I didn't want to grow up, and they asked me if I would be willing to be a GA, and I said absolutely. So part of the GA duties is they would pay for my grad school, so that's how I got grad school paid for, and it was a lot of fun. So I did that for it was unique timing. The defensive back coach after my first year of being a GA, was he moved on to coach. Actually, he was the head coach at Shadle Park when the Ripon kid was there.
Oh.
So he took a head coaching position, which opened up that position my second year there. So I actually just went to the head coach, and I was like, hey, I mostly ran the DBs as my first year GA anyway. He was just the coach. He wasn't a defensive back guy. He was kind of new to the staff, but really good guy. And so I asked him, hey, can I apply for this? And it was a quick conversation. He said, no need, you're my defensive back coach. So the next 2 years, I got to be the official DB coach, which was a lot of fun. So still, yeah, that was good. It was a lot of fun. That was, I guess, the quick synopsis of my Whitworth glory days.
Yeah, of your time there. Were you one of the first guys from Royal to go to Whitworth, or were there people that went there before you?
I don't know.
I remember looking at the board on the weight room.
Prior to me, I think. I mean, people probably had. I don't know, but I think
you were the first one to play there that I was aware of.
Yeah, and then since then we've had a handful of guys go. I feel like pretty good relationship there at Whitworth. I enjoyed going and watching when Caleb was there. It's a good program, and they've since then they've been pretty successful. I think they won their conference last year and made the playoffs a few years in a row now. So they're doing pretty well. Did you? And so after your time at Whitworth, did you go directly from there to Grandview?
I did. Yeah.
And was that something, you go to be the head coach at Grandview, was that something that you had wanted to do through college? At what time in life did you make the decision to want to be a coach?
The coaching part was definitely in college. I mean, actually, it was probably even in high school or post-high school. I loved playing for Coach Allred, Coach Nielsen, like a huge impact on me. I loved football. I'm not a gifted athlete, but for whatever reason, football in my brain was just always easy to pick up on conceptually or understanding. So I felt like I had an IQ that I can understand it. And if I can understand it, I can figure out how to coach it. And so that was, I guess, always just something that I wanted to do. Felt like it was fun, and loved the relationships with athletes. and trying new things and all that other stuff. So, and then when I was in college, I got to work with some awesome people, really impactful, even at the stage of my life, like 22, 23 years old or whatever I was then. And like good men, good Christian men, and that were like high values on family and like what's important in your life for the next 25 years, Jeremy, not just what's in front of you. So that probably impacted my decision to want to be in high school more than the collegiate stuff. Because coming out, I was engaged at the time when I was done, but coming out, there was opportunities to go coach in college football programs through connections that they had, or just applications and stuff like that. Right? There was some small college opportunities. There's a high school in Vegas, Bishop Gorman. Coach Tolley tried to get me on that staff, and I'm like, what the heck's Bishop Gorman? Like, why would I want to go like there? And then I'm looking at him like, holy cow.
Yeah, they're something else now. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But the ultimately for me is like, hey, I want to, I'm engaged. I want to have a family. I don't want to move 5 times in 4 years or whatever. I want to chase that. So that's probably the biggest thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so how long were you at Grandview? Was that
3 years?
3 years. Okay. Yeah. And I don't know, we don't have to get too much into Grandview.
I've lost more at Grandview than I've lost at Royal ever.
Yeah. What was that transition like, going from being an assistant coach in the college ranks to the head coach of high school? What was it? Pretty daunting, responsibility? Yeah,
it was crazy. And they were, they had a playoff team. I don't know how far they made it. Not too far before me, within the last 3 to 5 years, but they were not I explained like Walouk, right? Like they had a good football team for that few years and a good group of kids. They are not a football school. They were a basketball school. They are, and but there's great people in every community. That was a lot of fun. Meeting with like true football alum and really good people wanting to impact the community through the sport of football, and they worked really hard. Like the group of booster parents and stuff like that were phenomenal. The support from the new AD was good. It was just it's just a tough culture to recruit the halls as a new guy, as a 25-year-old.
Yeah,
I was married. I think I applied the early July. I got the job. I don't know, call it the between the 5th and the 10th or something. I was married the 19th, and I had already had a honeymoon planned for 5-ish days or whatever. So I think we came back, and Ginger and I moved in the last week of July, and I had I don't know, call it 21 days to hire a staff and get moved and find a place to live. So it was pretty crazy.
Wow.
But it was fun. I had the opportunity. There was a guy, his name's Matt McKinstry. So this is how small worlds work, right? Like, he's the Pasco guy. He had went and played at Eastern. He knew Spray. He knew Graf. He had coached under similar terminology. So when I started talking terms and kind of what my philosophy was and what I wanted to do, the learning curve with he and I just being able to talk was like instant. And so I'm like, Matt, okay, will you be my D coordinator? Man, like, you speak my language. So we figured it out and kind of took off from there. He's a good dude.
Yeah. And then, from there, so you were there 3 years and then came to Royal I was a junior that year, right? I think that was right. 2011. Was that your first year in Royal?
Sounds right.
Yeah, and I don't totally remember. I remember you'd come to like a couple of games because Kelly DeLay had been kind of. Was he doing the defense? I don't know. I remember he coached us O-line wise my sophomore year, and he was awesome. He would get you so fired up before games. It was crazy. You were like ready to run legitimately through the brick wall of the weight room out onto the field. Like he was, I don't know how tall he is, but he'd get in the middle and everybody would be around him. He'd be yelling and his voice kind of high pitched and screaming and grabbing people's face masks and pushing, and you were just freaking out in there. And I don't know. I remember that. It was pretty cool. But his son Dylan was a senior and graduated, so he was kind of done after that. But I remember, I think you would come to like a couple of the games.
Oh yeah, I love
at the end of the year.
Man.
Yeah.
I would watch you guys in the playoffs every year. So.
Yeah.
It was great.
But what was that like, maybe both perspectives from Jeremy and Wiley, what was that decision like to come on? Was it something you'd wanted to do, come to Royal, or was it, you're like, oh man, this head coach thing is kind of like, I don't know. What was that process and transition like for you, for both of you, I guess?
For me, it was, I was ready to be done teaching, to be honest. And thankfully, Saddle Mountain at the time was looking for a guy, and that guy was going to be working with Wiley Allred and was going to be helping service Coach Allred's farm. So I remember begging to him and thinking, man, I hope he wants me on his farm so I can get up.
get out of teaching.
For me, for football wise, I was like, hey, I got to figure out something to do. I'll figure out how to bring some value.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was actually just really good timing.
Yeah,
because like Kelly DeLay was going to be done. His job was actually just getting pretty hard to spend the time, and then his youngest son was graduating, so he thought it was a good time. He better step away. And so, yeah, when I heard Jeremy was, I don't remember how I heard, but stepping away and wanting to move back, I thought, are you kidding me? That's awesome. Because well, be the defense coordinator, jumped you right to it. So that's how it worked, and it worked out just as was perfect in that regard.
Yeah, smooth transition. I don't even really remember what that was like, because I wasn't, my sophomore year I was playing JV, and then the next year playing varsity when I was a junior. I think my junior year, we went to Kaibi and we were probably up by like 30 or something, but it wasn't quite 40. It was like in the third quarter. It was all muddy mess. It was like the last week of the season, regular season. And I think, Jeremy, you called a timeout or something and came out in the huddle, and you were saying, I don't even remember what you were saying. It like didn't make sense. And we were like, what the hell is he talking about? And you're like, guys, I'm trying to make a joke. Like, lighten up. Like, you guys are being too hard on yourself. And we're like, what? Like, I don't know. It was just funny. Yeah, just that different kind of atmosphere. That was my only memory of that junior year. Seriously, I don't remember what you were saying, but we were like, looking at each other like, what's he saying, a joke? Like we were up by a bunch. I don't know, but we weren't playing well. I remember that. It was like maybe we're up 20 and we thought we should have been up by a lot more. I don't know, but yeah, anyways, good times. And so I can't remember math. What's it been, 14 years now that been back in Royal?
Yeah.
How many state championships has it been in that time? 8 something?
Depends on
depends on who you ask. That's right, yeah. 8 or 9 or something.
COVID is whatever we choose to make it.
That's right, yeah.
We counted as
I don't
know. The trophy never left, right? I don't know. It was there in 2019, and it's still there today, so can't tell me we didn't win.
It was a voting thing. We had voting when I was playing, so there you go.
Yeah.
Freshman year, I think.
Yeah, so obviously been really successful. I don't know if I have any good questions. Corbin, what was it like for you? Oh, go ahead, Dad. I don't know. I've been talking too much.
Let's talk about this season.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, what are the thoughts going in? Yeah.
Well, we're pretty excited to get going. I know that.
It's like Christmas Eve tonight. Not going to be able to sleep.
That's just like, get the old guy. It's changed, lifestyle change again. I got to start walking and moving around and pretend like so the kids can eat right, all that stuff.
Yeah.
No, we're excited, actually. It's kind of cool because there's like, I guess, 3 returning starters, if you want to call it that way. That's how a lot of people judge your teams.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of ability coming back and a lot of coaching to be done. And we feel like we've got a lot of potential, which that is only as good as it performs. But yeah, I know all the staff's really excited to get out there tomorrow and get this thing going. And we think the kids are just, they're very willing. We've already experienced that spring ball and worked hard by and large. Similar to most years, always tend to be on the negative side and think of the few kids who could have done a little more, and worried about that. A couple kids that I might be earning, that should be and all that. But I think we have no reason not to compete with the best of them. And I don't know. We'll be a hard out, but I'm not saying it's kind of an unknown too. Like these kids got a game.
Yeah.
We got some work.
Yeah, it seems like one of those years, and I think we've had a few of them over the years. It's kind of unknown, I guess. We got a new quarterback coming in, a bunch of kids graduated, so it's a lot of new guys coming up. I don't know depth-wise, not familiar with it enough, but those are oftentimes fun years. It's fun to see these kids kind of blossom and step into the roles, and so for me, I'm excited just for that.
Yeah, and the kids, get an opportunity. It's their turn.
Yep.
And a lot of them are seniors, and there's a lot of juniors that are jumping roles too. Probably even a couple of sophomores, but by and large, it'll be similar in that it'll be an older, group. It'll be juniors and seniors primarily that's going to run the show, which that's proven to be pretty effective for us.
Yeah. So who do we have returning? Who are the starters returning?
Grant Wardner was born back on defense, and Shea Stevenson was started on both sides of the ball, safety and receiver. We don't count him as a starter. Brody Bishop played a lot outside backer position. Orlando Santion was an All-State D lineman. And then on the offensive line, we've got Rolando Cedillo and Abel Garcia. And Abel's a 4-year starter, which is very unusual. People think we start a lot of freshmen and we start hardly any.
Yeah.
He's the only one who started for the whole year as a freshman because he worked hard and came kind of ready, built, and strong. Rolando's going to be a 3-year starter on the offensive line. And that's about it as far as what you'd consider, starters. We have a lot, like I say, just some of those kids that have some experience and others that don't have a ton. We have, we expect some stuff, a lot out of like Tice, Christensen, and Jackson. Both kind of were injured most of that. Not only, they're really gifted kids and really strong and work hard, but they sat out, with injury.
Yeah.
What do you got, Jeremy?
You nailed it, boss. We're going to be terrible.
We're not going to be very good.
Yep.
Down here.
I mean, it's so much fun to say that, but everyone looks at it. Fine. We're going to be tough. How about that? But I don't know.
We're going to be tough. It's going to be fun. Build a lot of confidence. We've got to get kids confident, and when they're confident, they play fast and loose, and so that's the biggest thing, making sure they can be confident.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's going to be fun.
Yeah, like a back team, like a fast team, but I hope, and a lot of you like Corbin. I think people thought Corbin was a speedster, and I don't know if he was a speedster in high school, but he's open. That's what we got.
Possession receiver.
Just open, man.
Livingston and Anderson Brown and Shate's just dynamite. These kids, anyway, they'll have some abilities to get open, but we might not win any track meet with them, but they're not slow. I'm just saying they're pretty quick.
Yep.
Yeah.
Is it harder to fill the skill positions with the guys who are, when you don't have returning starters? Is it harder to fill the skill positions, do you find, or would you say the line is harder to put guys in places?
Great question. I really think it depends on who's
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, are there good guys?
Yeah.
I think.
Let's take this year specifically. What do you think? I feel like traditionally, like the depth in Royal in general, I don't know, the skill position is pretty incredible, and the line kind of always finds its way. But I'm just curious to know this.
Yeah. You're right. No, and a lot of times they'll pull in a tight end or a running back to play left tackle, and that happens. This year we're not, hopefully not doing that, but a couple of injuries there have been, and they're going to be like Dax Jenks and Logan Piper on the line that'll add to our depth or add hopefully to guys that are going to play a lot too. Yeah. So I don't know that we're really deep in per se, but I think we're going to develop that. But right now we feel really good if we can stay healthy of I don't know. Yeah, we don't have to pull kids off the. We're not looking for a freshman to jump in on the line, but there's a couple that actually be on the depth part because they're pretty good.
Right.
There are a few.
Yeah, I think, I mean, just now being like outside looking in, because I don't live in Royal anymore, it's fun to see all the random names that are popping up now. You know, it's not your typical Christensen, Allred show, you know, the Gilberts in there now. It's going to be fun seeing the new names coming up. I've seen like...
But we're still rehashing, you know, Wardenaires.
Yeah, they'll cycle back through.
Yeah, I guess it's the cycle, right?
Yeah.
All right. I love it. And Browns are jumping in the floor.
Yeah.
Yep.
But here's the one that nobody knows about. I've been doing some research again, and probably the name that pops up, like if I'm going to do top 10 and some point at each position, lately the last 10 years has been Hernandez.
Yeah.
Different families, but just a whole bunch of different Hernandez. That name come up, and they've been.
Yeah, we could do it just a top 10 Hernandez if you want.
Yeah, you could.
Do top 10 Allreds, top 10 Browns, top 10 Christensen.
De La Rosa. I don't know if any of those are coming through.
There's been a few.
Hey, I'll put the best punter out there right now. It's Cody Hebden. How about that, Cody?
There
Hopefully,
you go.
Cody passed on the punting department yet.
No Randy Dunn.
Well,
If you just take the one, if you use a small
Yeah,
sample
take the
size,
one clutch.
it's pretty good.
Okay. All right, so maybe that's a good segue into another part of this. I mean, what's Jeremy and Wiley? What are specific plays that stand out in your mind over your tenure as coaches? Of wow, that just was, because to me, I think of that Randy Dunn punt in that 2015 state championship game. Man, that's just, I still remember that vividly. That was just such a cool play.
Well, I remember that, and then I remember his dad's response after the game. He says, "Coach, I thought you were crazy. What are you doing putting my kid in that position, back of the end zone?" Which I absolutely love from a dad. He's like, "This guy's nuts," and he seriously told me that 3 times. I thought you were crazy because Randy. There was 3 pretty good punters on the team. Sam had tweaked his hamstring 2 days earlier in the Seahawks facility, and then. Who was Jose Ponce? I think had punted. Somebody had, and we just anyway. Randy was pretty good, and he had been practicing all year because he hadn't done a whole lot of other stuff, to be honest. But I mean, he was a pretty good punter. So, and when I saw the kid line up, like up about 30 yards or 40, I was like, I remember thinking he could punt it over your head, which he did, and then it just kept rolling. It was awesome.
Yeah. Oh man, that was. Okay, any others?
Aldo Frias catch
2019.
Yeah.
From Caleb when we were down in the finals. That was pretty cool for a coach, because I was like, I only called half that play, and the kids did the other half, and the other half that scored was awesome. And so I got all kinds of credit. And I'm like, I kept telling the reporters that wasn't me. That was improvised Caleb, and Aldo was running down the sideline, and we had run the same play and hit Lorenzo up inside, but it was really cool to see, because I was like, that's why you coach. Let the kids. Anyway, they did a great job.
Yeah.
Jeremy, you got any?
Jeremy, what you got to have a couple?
Man, honestly, when Corp knocked the ball down at the end of the state championship, that's a big one for me. I may not know. I had a little PTSD going in a halftime situation, kind of Hail Mary in that, and I was like. And we did it.
Yeah.
It was kind of a big deal. So it was that
was relief.
Was that 2017?
Was that 17?
I don't want.
Yeah,
I think it was.
Yep.
Yeah.
17.
You're a senior, Corbin?
You're lucky the guy held me. I was going to take that back to the house.
I can hear something else. Yeah, he was. He did hold you. That would have been so funny. Yeah. Corbin?
I can take back about 100 years with a couple others, but
hey, let's hear them.
Yeah, let's hear them.
Well, I can't remember. Let's see, 1995, I think. Maybe it was earlier. It was a double overtime win against Riverview. We were down by 11 with like 3 minutes to play.
Oh yeah.
And I don't know who had the ball. We might have, but I think anyway they had the ball. All they had to do is run out the clock, and they decided to hand it off, and they fumbled. we got it. We got scored, and then got an onside kick, scored again. We got a touchdown, 2-point conversion, and a field goal. Tied it up, went to overtime anyway, went to double overtime and won the game. There's any certain play, but that whole series of events was just totally incredible. So much so that I remember Kelly DeLake, he was kind of embarrassed because he's like, the next morning, Saturday morning, he comes up to Bob Nielsen's house and he's like, gosh dang, he left the game early. It's like,
yeah,
sorry, coach, tough loss last night. And Bob's like, well, what the hell are you talking about?
Yep.
I thought that was the best ever.
That's pretty funny. Oh man.
That was the same with that Zilla game that we won in, was that 13? Not 13.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Anyway,
The crossover.
would have been, probably 14 down there.
13.
It's 13.
Is it 13?
That game was awesome.
Yeah, I can't remember that guy that worked for Zirkle that coached Corbin in middle school or something. Same thing. He left that game early because he's like, Royals going to lose. And or he was listening on the radio or something. I saw him the next morning at Potholes at PGS, and he was like, tough game last night. Like, man, you missed out. It was awesome. That was fun.
Well, if you're thinking about the same game, we were never behind in that game.
No, I can't remember. There was something that made him think that we had lost it, but I know
Probably that we showed up.
Probably didn't.
Yeah, yep.
Because we got beaten so bad the first time we played them, it wasn't even. It was a mismatch, and it was they knocked two of our kids out. They beat us by 35 or 40, and then you had to go down there again and beat them, and it was cool. Kids were on it all week, and the whole team was. You could hear a pin drop literally in the locker room before the game. We knew. I just turned to Jeremy and we looked at each other and I said, "Well, it ain't going to be the same as the first time. I don't know what's going to happen tonight, but it will not be the same."
That was the first time back here when I had walked into that locker room, and I remember going. I was like, "Holy cow, this is a different type of focus." It was truly quiet, like completely quiet, and I remember looking at the coach and was like, "Oh, baby, these boys are ready to play. We got a chance. Man. We got a chance." That and their head coach was talking about the fullback is going to come back next week. They're just really excited to be healthy next week. And I happen to be like 3 to 5 feet away from Wiley, and he's just being polite and respectful. And I'm cursing the whole time under the breath. I'm like, "This guy, this be freaking team next week." I was so wound up.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, we made sure and let the kids know they were ready to play next week, but we weren't sure they were ready to play tonight. I'll tell you, at halftime they picked it up a notch, and it was the second half we really had to earn it.
Oh man,
but it did. I think we had 2 possessions the whole second half. We just milked the clock, and and the kids just tackled.
Barely, but we tackled.
Barely,
got it down.
Well, I remember walking on the field, because everybody just stormed the field after it was done, and they were shaking hands, and it was just like, whoa, we beat those guys? I mean, they were specimens. Big boys, athletic, just holy cow. We just looked like a bunch of middle schoolers compared to them, but pulled it off.
Yeah. Well, let's transition here. Maybe we don't do top 10 of everybody's positions or something. I don't know. We don't want to get people too mad about things. I don't know. Do like a top 3. I don't know, of like teams, like top 5 teams, but not in order. We'll just say that they're not in any order.
There you go.
So nobody gets offended.
Yeah, 2001.
Yeah.
Some juice for a later date, too.
Yeah, I got to say something. We'll have some more of these in the future. We've been discussing ideas of what to do. Have some video on there as well.
For all those listening, you weren't privy to our prior recording conversations about top players and this and that. And man, I'm anxious to hear Wiley's juice for future episodes here. What do you got?
Well, what the juice is I might have to hide out for a while.
I think just save it for you.
Yeah, we'll do it all in one.
Yep.
More diplomatic here, but it just be fun because everybody asks me like, who's the best this, who's the best that,
Yeah.
And Always the last team, the next team, whatever the next teams are
this year.
So but I can pick out some kids. I wouldn't put them in order.
Yeah. I mean, you would, but you wouldn't tell. You wouldn't say they were. They're going to be in order, but.
Yeah, I'll go back to Waylon Wagner's. I'll say some names. That dude he was tough.
Yeah.
You guys don't know who he is, right?
Well, all right. Before we finish up here, I don't know what have we asked people before. Favorite place to stop and eat after a game. Let's hear from you guys. Where is it?
Oh man, I'm thinking about it.
Yeah,
it's probably still, even though it's because it's just for coaches, it's not fair. They take care, and that Carter's girlfriend still there.
It's funny. We'd never have gone there since I've been a coach. I've been coaching for 5 years now. I've never gone to Miners.
That was Nate Grant's girlfriend for years.
That's what he said.
And
the owner,
Mitchell,
like
Patrick Mitchell, I have.
And
Patrick Mitchell.
Prove it. Yeah.
But free food, coaches, and really, what brings bus drivers get to taken care of too, and they try to gain pounds at one stop.
Yeah. Jeremy, same.
Man, I don't know if I have a favorite. I'm always so hungry. It's just whatever's close.
Whatever the closest thing.
Yep. Wherever you stop after a big win, that's your favorite one.
Five Guys. Five Guys is pretty good for me if we're down in that neighborhood.
Yeah.
Hey, we've had coaches that might go to Town of Benton and they would find their way back to Miners.
Yep.
Find their way over there somehow. Yeah, wherever the kids aren't going to order a bunch of ice cream at the last minute and be late on the bus.
Oh, I got it. I already know. Panda Express before 9 at College Place.
There you go. Yeah. Yeah, you gotta get that clock running if you want to make it in time.
One rule. Okay. Gotta run it by halftime so I can get my freaking Panda.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I hope they don't listen. That's the goal.
That was then.
That was then. This is a different year, but we do go there week 2. So everybody come down to College Place. Yeah.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, we're at home first and then at College Place. I've been putting together the schedule to post on social media. So yeah, at College Place.
Yeah.
No fellow Burger King on this list is kind of crazy.
Burger King in the state. You could put me on.
Fellow Burger King's a classic.
Say it out loud. The worst one.
Yeah.
Probably.
You sit in the drive-thru, or when you go in with the kids, it's a nightmare.
I know another list of in order like defensive coordinators.
There you
Best
go.
to worst.
Okay.
Hey, I can go now. It's all good.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
We could have some fun.
You had a bump.
There is one. Yeah, one's the head coach at Gonzaga Prep now, Nate Graham.
Oh, wow.
Had some good ones, but nothing like Jeremy. Nothing.
Yeah. I can see him right now, so you guys don't know that. So
Yeah.
Well, man, we sure appreciate you guys. Gosh, as a member of the community, as a dad, as a friend, you guys are a huge part of all of this, and really the foundation of Royal football, and beyond that, foundation of building good young men. So thank you.
Even if some of them don't turn out exactly like you want, huh, Corbin? No, I'm just kidding. Corbin, hey, that coaching tree's expanding, though, isn't it, Corbin?
Yeah,
Corbin's a big coach now.
Lone Peak 6th grade A team, man.
You guys were lining it up. What were you? Were you calling plays or were you calling defense?
Just individual coach.
Just kind of vibes. Just more of a vibes coach.
Yeah.
Well, it looks
Corbin's brother-in-law is the quarterback. This kid's never played tackle football. You should see his highlights.
He looks good.
He is a stud. Like, wow. So if Corbin's the individual coach, he's doing well.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm correct. Somebody on the foundation that started Denver High.
Yeah.
And Jim Hill had a good part of it the first years, and then Bob finished off it. We'll continue the legacy. How's that? We're trying to continue. They mean a lot. I mean, they did a great job. Foundation, like, yeah, I think Royal has the highest winning percentage through time from 64 on. All small town schools in the nation.
Yep. Number one winning percentage.
Yeah. But I'm just, Bob was awesome. He was so fun. And I had Dan for a freshman, and my brother said he was the best ever. And so everybody has their, and then Jim Hill, I know, coached you, Larry.
Yeah.
Did a great job.
Yeah, I liked him.
It was awesome to me. But yeah, nothing like coaching under Bob Nielsen. That was some days.
Yeah, we'll have to do another episode of just Coach Nielsen stories.
Oh man, that would be cool. There's some guys you could get that been pretty close to him in those years, and that would be fun. That'd be neat.
I've got a few.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
All right. Well, we'll finish up the episode here. Thanks everybody for watching. We appreciate it. Now that we're back from our little break, so like and subscribe and comment and share with your friends and anybody you think might be interested in listening. We really appreciate it. We'll be back next week with something new. But good luck to everybody. Football, obviously, and the rest of the fall sports starting tomorrow. We look forward to a good season, and we will see you guys next week.